out of our mind. They're telling the world not to trust their own eyes. They're telling the people they're wrong. They're keeping the truth for their power gain. And taking whatever we've got. Some of you eat all the lies you've been fed. Some of you just go along, training acceptance inside of your head to give them whatever they want. You're leaving your brothers and sisters behind. You're told it's the best thing to do. You're shutting out friends cause you're told that's what's right. Now they win because all of us lose. And it's so sad watching these times as they change. And it's so bad. The battle's been violent and strange as they lock us indoors in a prison of this silent war. Someone is trying to sell you the cure, the same one who made the disease. And they'll try to convince you and make you feel sure, but hey, there ain't no guarantees. They covered your mouth and they tied back your hands. They did it to all of the kids. All right. Hello, everybody. A little fun music to get the party started. That is 5 Times August, Silent War. They got some fun videos or some fun music songs there. All right, let me get my tongue untwisted and get today's show rocking and rolling for everybody. We got some exciting stuff going on. Here again, I promised a little bit of a change in our format, and that's what we got going on. So, I don't know. I'm sure if you're here, you saw the email today. And at the end of today's live stream, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the way that you can get MPH protection on your home system for 1 year for free. What? How does it get better than that? Why are we doing that? We're doing that because our greatest interest is to protect you guys at home, at work, all that kind of fun stuff. Because the more people we can protect, the more we can keep day-to-day looking normal. Because unfortunately, right now, there's a lot of not normal stuff going on. So if somebody kick me a comment real quick, let me know that all sound is sounding good and all video is looking good. That'd be great. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I assume you're looking at this on Facebook. Some of you guys might be logged into the YouTube channel. Either way, it's great to have you guys back, have you guys here. So let's get this party started. So today we're going to be talking about network outages, hackers, or sunspots. So I'm going to share with you guys today where I get some of my intel from, where that comes from, what that looks like, and what the impact and what all this means to us. So let's get started. So yesterday, Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, was what they called Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday, which took place yesterday, was a significant event for the U.S. presidential primaries. There's a bunch of presidential Republican Party stuff going on, a bunch of other things like that. And so that was kind of the spur that started to get things going. But what ended up happening, and a lot of you might have experienced this just the way that we did in a couple different places, was that our Facebook required re-authentication and re-logins across multiple devices. Of course, for me, it showed up as, hey, I'm meeting a guy to pick something up at 7:30 in the morning from a Facebook purchase.
and I couldn't get into Facebook to find out if I was at the right address for the pickup. And so it took me a good 10, 15 minutes to get relogged in on my phone. Not much fun. So Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, X, Discord, Amazon Cloud, T-Mobile, and more were all struck and having issues. The question that comes up was, is this sunspot? Is this hackers? What's going on? We know it has to be something along those kind of lines because it affected so many different places that are not connected. You know, a lot of things do ride on the Amazon Cloud service, but T-Mobile does not ride on the Amazon Cloud service. And so what is going on here? And so today I'm also going to share with you a little bit about some of the new threats that we got coming down the pike. And unfortunately, we have fun, really elitist type people sitting around planning what they should do if and when these threats, which have just supposedly come out of nowhere, show up. And so we're starting to run into this, the people planning it and planning how they're going to make money are a lot of those people that are the concern on the ones letting the problem loose in the wild. And so when we go to look at a problem like this, we look at these mass outages across the board, it's hard to say what exactly was driving those. And so, you know, it's hackers is a big part of it. We get hacked on a lot. And for that, I'm going to slide over to one of my pages here that I'm going to show you guys. And we're going to go ahead and kick that on here. This is Down Detector. And here we can see different websites and see what those outages are looking at. And so when we start to see patterns like here in Discord, Ring, and Amazon, Zoom, you know, Slack got hit, WebEx, this little beginning spike here, the spike up indicates the outage. And so that's where we can see that a lot of these platforms all got hit at this exact same time. And we can see where other things keep on rumbling. And so it's just the alignment on these cross platforms that continue to show us that those are the kind of issues that are going on. And then the other thing that we see from it is like, look here, Shopify. We can see they had a hard time recovering. Okay. And so also look at the difference here. So some of this is entertainment. Yeah, sure. But Shopify, I mean, now we're getting into commerce, right? Communications, Google, you know, there's a lot of issues kind of going on there. Can't be taking out our video games. What are we talking about here? And so, you know, this is where it really starts to become this concern on, you know, what's getting hit, who's getting hit, and, you know, what are we going to do about that? And so there's a lot of alignments going on there. So part of this can be hackers, right? Another part of this can be sunspots. And so on the sunspot part of this, where we run into a lot of concerns, is that it could be, you know, the sun acting up. And so one of the guys that I love to watch, love to pay attention to, which I'm going to share here with you guys right now, is Suspicious Observers over on YouTube. He's quick to the point, a lot of short videos. These, you know, you'll see here just a couple minutes long kind of thing, gets you up to date, gives you the latest, greatest on space weather, has a wonderful understanding on how all of this fun stuff works. And so he'll give us this insight. He talks about the aurora, tells us what's going on with the sun. And more, this is starting to affect our satellites. And running into some issues. Well, what are we doing? No, one thing at a time. Clicking too many buttons. I need to calm down. Too much Jocko. Where's my next Jocko? I've already had one today. So yeah, the sunspots, they start to affect GPS units. They start to affect telecommunications with the satellites and that kind of fun stuff. Power grid elements are really affected that because the grounding with the way the earth works and stuff. But one of the big places that we use GPSs, can you guess it? If you got an idea, throw it in the comments. GPSs are an aircraft. And so that really helps with aircraft navigation and things of that nature. So that's kind of a real concern. GPS is also a core part of satellite systems that then integrate into our phones. I mean, think about Uber. You know, all of a sudden your Uber driver's not going to be able to find you because why would he know how to drive around the town that he's been in for 20 years? And so when we start to see these things hit, you know, into the banking system, into the e-commerce side, then we're really going to start to have some struggles. And so, is it possible that it is solar flare activity? Yeah, for sure. And, that's going to be coronal mass ejections that interfere with the satellite communications, power grids, and that kind of fun stuff. But it can also be the cyber attacks targeting vulnerabilities in systems, which we're going to talk a little bit more about here in just a second. And then denial of service attacks, malware, exploiting security flaws, all that kind of fun stuff. And that's my big concern for you guys is, ransomware, malware, viruses. Especially the malware and the ransomware gets super, super ugly these days and not happy to deal with. During the Super Tuesday event, Microsoft released this on its Tuesday patch initiative, patch number 73, CVEs, include a 0-day vulnerability that had been exploited in the wild. These include security features to bypass in Windows smart screens and internet shortcut files. The elevation of privileges and vulnerabilities were happening inside of Microsoft Exchange servers. It went beyond the Microsoft Exchange servers into the Microsoft Office product, Azure, and other Microsoft components. The effects of this are just massive. That means that people are able to get into your emails. The big thing they're doing these days is they get into your email and they just hang out. And so with that, we got to make sure that we're protecting passwords, that we're protecting and utilizing smart password tools. Password keepers, we provide LastPass. If you need more information on that, call us here at the office, 907-868-7300. And we can get you going on a tool that's really going to help you maintain and manage those passwords everywhere you go. It's in your cell phone. It's in your browser. Just makes it nice and easy. And it makes them complex and harder for those hackers to get in. It's your responsibility to make sure your stuff stays secure. And it's like, man, I hate to use this analogy, but it's like putting on the mask, right? That's a bad analogy. I'm not going to go there. Never mind. But you got to make sure that your stuff's safe so that you're not infecting other things around you. Office environments when you're remoting in, or you're not taking your computer and plugging it at the office that has this potential of malware that then turns into ransomware that then starts to take out key components in your network. Because if you're not running endpoint protection that's going to stop that, man, you're just like letting it hang out there in the wind. And that's not good at all. The next one we got coming at us, and this is the big one that I was talking about that the guys were planning, which, these people, what is wrong with them? How come they can't just be normal humans, get along, happy with everybody else? Why do they got to seek after all the power? I know those are big questions and they're rhetorical. So I'll digress it there. So, but the new fun toy that they've made for us is called Killware. Killware is a type of malicious software designed with the intent to cause physical harm to people. Really, guys? Had to step it up a notch, didn't we? It's also designed to disrupt critical infrastructure like hospitals, financial systems, banking, the healthcare, utilities, transportation. That's all you need, right? All of a sudden you're auto driving your Tesla and all of a sudden it loses its brain box and all the Teslas crash into each other on the highway. Not so bad here in Alaska, but man, California, I imagine that'd be quite the mess, or Arizona, somewhere like that. So definitely not good stuff. Yeah, these impacts are really going to start to disrupt the banking system, credit card processing systems, and just, the different places like that. So that's definitely, we got to make sure that we're keeping our endpoint protection up and online. And, here again, if you guys need help with that, make sure you're reaching out to the office. And I'm going to be giving some of that away here in just a minute. I'm going to let you know how to get that. And, this time, I think that I'm experiencing some possible problems with our broadcast here. So anytime this week, just mention that you saw this online, and we're going to give you a free seat of MPH for 1 year for a personal assistant. I have a total of 4 of these guys, 4 of these to give away. So get that phone call ringing. You just dial into the office, 907-868-7300, and we'll get you squared up. Reach out to us however you can. And so back to talking about the impacts, banking systems, credit card processing, just the imagine on this Killware, starting to hit hospitals and starting to hit our primary infrastructure components. That's just going to be a nightmare. And a lot of times I think people just don't think things through all the way. It's so easy these days to find where critical infrastructure components are. You can just Google it. You can go ask GPT. GPT will tell you all kinds of fun things. I use GPT to put together some of my material that I'm referencing today, and it was able to look up information from yesterday. So they've definitely let it loose on the internet. And so pros and cons on there. So the next thing is here again, back to the strategies. How are we going to mitigate these risks and how are we going to prepare for future outages? Number one, make sure that we have critical information localized to our machines and we're not totally relying on cloud. You know, just unplug your internet cable for an hour. See, are you still able to function? Can you still do work? How are you going to handle? Do you have a backup plan? Can you operate with cash if you had to? And how long can you do that for? The next one is dealing with that password management. You know, what happens if you lose all your sticky notes? What happens if you can't get to your office? What happens if the earth opens up and swallows your office building? Then what are you going to do? All your sticky notes are gone. Can't have sticky notes everywhere with passwords on it. Super insecure. Look, don't hide them there. That's a bad spot. I had to check to make sure I didn't have one. That's a bad spot. Totally kidding. I do not put passwords under keyboards. Endpoint protection. I can't say it enough, man. Endpoint protection. Need like a song or an acronym or something to go with that. You got to be running software that stops ransomware and that is constantly being updated over and over and over again. We here at Global Computer Support, Alaska Computer Support, are constantly looking at our tool set and making sure that we're finding the best plans to help you guys out. And so making sure that we have the best plans to keep everything going, and that we have the best protection possible with that. The next one is get educated. You guys got to understand the way these phishing attacks look. I got a phishing attack this morning from where I had to keep my Bitcoin. And it's like, hey, you got to do a security update. So click this link. And I looked at it and I went, nah, it looked legit, right? But then I looked at the email it came from. That doesn't make sense. And so instead of clicking the link in the email, I went out to the site and I went and checked that site out. And when I checked out the site, it came back and it was just like, it's not asking me to do anything in there. Delete, delete, delete. Now, how did they know that I had that account there? Who knows? To me, a lot of times that makes me wonder if there was a data leak at the company that I use. Questionable. Or, I know they haven't hacked into my network or on my system because I'm doing deep scans all the time. We have network infrastructure in place that does intrusion protection, detection, and prevention. So I would know if someone was in my system. So it's hard to say where they're tracking that down or how they're getting that. Is it possible that they hacked into my email account somehow? Did they gain access to Gmail? Maybe. Hard to say. They could also just be guessing. A lot of times they can get some demographic basic information and just be like, hey, there we go. Let's give this a try. Let's blast this out, And it's like, it's crazy the way our vendors like, oh, here's a list of all the email addresses that got compromised in our hack attack. Let me give those to the public. It's like, really, guys? What are you thinking? So a lot of times we entrust these big companies to have our backs, and it's just insanity on the things that they do that really is self-sabotaging. And, I really have struggles with when they talk about the details on how to hack platforms. One of the things that got hacked a little while back, it was like 2 weeks ago, I want to say, was Screen Connect. Screen Connect's a remote control tool that's used by, hundreds of thousands of users across the world, and that own servers that then touch hundreds of endpoints per each server. And it literally, no joke, no exaggeration, took less than 90 seconds to hack a Screen Connect server. And they all got hit. And luckily for us, we had one endpoint that they started to compromise. They did not finish. And then they got locked out of our system because of, the way our stuff picked up and went online. And we were able to stop that instantly. But luckily, we were lucky. We were fortunate. We had the right tools in the place doing the right stuff. Other places weren't. And these are like big companies that are using this. Some of our big utility companies here in town, of course, because when this hits, all the tech guys are talking about it. Our phones are blowing up being like, hey, man, did you know about this? Did you get hit with this? And it's like, yep. And so what that did was it gave them access to all of the endpoints everywhere to load code and bypass all these other tool sets. So, man, you got to be super careful with all that stuff and make sure you have somebody in your corner that's fighting for you and not just handing you over on a silver platter to the bad guys. Speaking of which, and I will say this out loud, Norton, no go. If you are running Norton, you might as well just go throw your computer in the trash. We need to get that uninstalled, replaced immediately. If you are running Norton, I will give you a free antivirus just to replace that, because Norton is the worst thing on the planet. It slows down your computer. They let their codexes go. They allow hackers full access to all of their stuff a lot. And I think they did it to up sales. That's my personal belief. Okay, so that we've gone over strategy. You guys know about the giveaway, MPH. Who wants one of those? Make sure to give us a call here at the office, 907-868-7300, and then you guys will know more. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is another site that I really do like, and this is one that I think you'll find some interest in. Not that one. Let's go share this tab instead. S2 Underground. Here again, short videos, just getting the message out. It's called The Wire. 2 minutes kind of thing, 3 minutes, and he provides more information about these locations that are getting hit, and what has been done, and just some understanding of what's going on there. S2 is something that comes from the Army. The S2 shop is the shop that gives us out intelligence, as we call it. Though a lot of times we have always wondered how intelligent is the S2 shop, but Army jokes, got them all day long. All right, friends, I hope you found this useful today. We look forward to being able to serve your IT needs, and make sure to like, subscribe, and share this. Let's get the word out. Let's get endpoint protection on the rise, and let's shut down these bad guys so they don't shut down our culture, our environment, our country, all of that stuff. So God bless, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, which is going to be interesting, because you got to check in to find out where I'm going to be at doing a special broadcast, just to stay in touch with you. All right, talk to you guys